Bryce Young, Rico Dowdle, and the Carolina Panthers have a important showdown with Justin Fields and the Jets. Love these interconference matchups, and the NFC has been dominating a lot of these. Now, the Carolina Panthers coming off of what some are calling a program win against the Dallas Cowboys. A lot of doubt on this team, and they go out there and they pound the football down the Dallas Cowboys fronts. Frankly, the New York Jets, Carolina Panthers fans have to be a little bit thankful for, because they laid the blueprint, so to say, for them to go out and execute. Because the Jets rushed for 145 yards, had 6.5 yards a carry against Dallas the week prior. And then Carolina goes out and says, yeah, we can go out there and do the exact same thing against them. We have something to be able to attack. And clearly that Dallas defensive line was not able to be up to the challenge. Rico Dowdle goes for 183 yards on the ground. What I loved about what they did is they kept having success and continued to stick with the hot hand. They didn't say, oh, just because we ran the football 3-4 times in a row doesn't mean we keep running it, because we're getting 6-7 yards a pop and continuing to move the ball. What does that allow Bryce Young to do? Pick apart the Cowboys' defense. He was efficient. This is some of the best football he's played. Completion percentage there, close to 70% on the day. 3 touchdowns, did have the interception, but this is some of the best football that Bryce Young has played in his young career. Now, the New York Jets, this defense has been one of the worst in the NFL in 2025. There's not a lot to be curious about why the Jets have an 0-6 record right now. It's not like this is a team that's been right there in half of their games close to winning. Frankly, they got blown out by the Cowboys, and this team, after comparing that, I mean, this is a Panther team that just beat the Cowboys, who blew out the Jets. We're trying to say here that this looks like a Panther team that should be able to beat New York, even though that this game is on the road. Don't have to overthink the game plan all that much. Attack the Jets front, the line of scrimmage. Can they come out and play a little bit better? All right, throw the football at the opposite corner of Sauce Gardner. I don't know who that's going to be for the New York Jets. They've been trying to pull out all of these moves, bringing in different guys. After they lost DJ Reed, for whatever reason, they said, yeah, DJ Reed, a good number 2 corner opposite of Sauce Gardner. He's worth way too much money, so we're just going to let him walk to the Detroit Lions. Look, he struggled with injuries this year, but it's obvious that that number 2 corner spot quite literally could be the weakest position of anybody in the NFL, from quarterback to a left guard to a free safety, like literally the worst position in the NFL for any spot. That second corner for the Jets has been atrocious. And what does that do? It puts extra pressure on Sauce Gardner to play even better, and that's not something he's done a whole lot this year. He hasn't looked like the best cornerback in football, or even a top 10 guy at times this season. If I'm the Carolina Panthers, go at him, attack the trenches. Now, Quinton Williams is still a monster in there, one of the better interior defenders in football. I like Bryce Young to carry the football a little bit in this game. Test the athleticism of New York. Take your chances. 8 to 9 yards a pop, and make the New York Jets edge defenders be put in a little bit more conflict. Put them on their heels a little bit more, so they're not just like, all right, Carolina's going to come out here and run the football 35 times on us, and all we got to do is try and stop that. Because what does that do? It makes those edge defenders have to hesitate. And what does that also do? As it can open up a little bit of the slant, that RPO style. This is a Carolina team that's starting to get a little bit of momentum here through the passing offense. Now, Dowdle led the squad in receiving yards, but you were seeing Bryce Young spread the football around a little bit more. You saw Tremble go for 40 yards. Jimmy Horn, this was a fun kid to watch at Colorado. He had a bunch of success. Just an absolute speedster. Great to see a young player get some targets. Tet McMillan to not even be the lead guy. I say that's a positive for Panthers fans. It's crazy to think this team is a win against the 0-6 Jets away from being 4-3 and completely in the thick of, yes, the playoff push. In mid-October, you can use the P word. You can start talking about it. Week 7 in the NFL. If you're 4-3, you absolutely deserve to be in that conversation. I don't care who you've played, who you've lost to, who you've beaten. The record says enough about what your resume is. Now, the Carolina Panthers, this team and how they can lose this game. It's Bryce Young not seeing the field as well. The New York Jets at times can have what I like to call the surge. The surge. It comes at times when it's like, all right, they're down by 14 and boom, they put two drives together. Or this defense is ever able to force a takeaway. Against the Cowboys, they even have a little bit of surge there in the third quarter at the end of the game. Against Miami, they had a little bit of one, but then they've been shooting themselves in the foot. Against the Steelers week 1, this team always has about like a 6 to 8 minute window where they play unlike any type of football they play the rest of the game. They've got mojo, they have momentum. Quarterback Justin Fields is ripping the football. They're tearing teams apart. Now, let's talk a little bit more about Justin Fields again and how he can make Carolina pay. What would go into them winning? First of all, it's Garrett Wilson playing. As of right now, they are very fortunate. He's fortunate. I love Garrett Wilson. He avoided a major knee injury, a scary play towards the end of that game against the Broncos. Jets had a perfect opportunity to go down there, kick a game-winning field goal at Nick Folk. Just needed about one more first down to be in range, and then Justin just got the football to him late, threw it low, and then the ball gets knocked out. So is Garrett Wilson playing? Frankly, I believe their entire game sort of hinges on that. He's the only guy on this offense that can do anything. Yes, all right. Breece Taylor running the ball. The only passing weapon that the Jets have is Garrett Wilson. Okay, Mason Taylor had a better day. Had, 10 catches for 67 yards, a bunch of targets. That's exactly what you want to see if you're a New York Jets fan. But without Garrett Wilson, where does it come? Where are the Jets going to go? You're going to do the exact same thing with Mason Taylor over the middle and getting him that many targets and trying to get Breece Hall 7 targets out of the backfield? I just would not see it from the New York Jets in that offense. They don't have a wide receiver that has come close to materializing as the second best target on this team. Right now, it clearly looks like Mason Taylor and Breece Hall are the main guys. I was befuddled by New York a little bit in this game against Denver, why they're continuing to do straight dropbacks against the Denver Broncos when clearly this was a team that was dominating up front. Get the football out to the edge, the perimeter to Garrett Wilson, or there's a one-on-one to Garrett Wilson. Take that. I know he's covered by Pat Surtain, but at some point you have to say, all right, Garrett Wilson's one of the better players in the NFL. We're going to continue to live and die with our best. There's all the talk about the negative 10 passing yards. He got sacked, 9 times on the day. It's frustrating to watch this Jets offense because they do have a lot of potential. But then again, with what they've done in the draft the last couple of years, it's like, how do they expect that these young... I'm listening to Jets fans talk about their team. And against Carolina, who does have young defenders, this is what's interesting is you've got a rookie right tackle, a second-year left tackle, and you're expecting this to be one of the best offensive lines in the league. It takes 2, 3, 4 years for offensive linemen to fully get adjusted, to add the extra weights, to develop into the monsters that they will be, and that this team did not make further attempts to add weapons for Justin, and they only have Garrett, and without Garrett, there is no passing offense at all. Probably won't do worse than only 45 yards passing for Justin, taking out the net into account. But this offensive line and the struggles, the interior of this thing has been absolutely blown up. I'd heard all the talk about Membu and Fashanu being top 10 at the position, and then they just struggle mightily against Denver. Look, a lot of teams they've had 20-something sacks on the season, but the run defense was fine for the Jets against Denver. It was just the slow burn of them playing one of the more atrocious football games that you'll ever watch. The Carolina Panthers, how can they attack as a defense against New York? Well, I truly believe it stopped Breece Hall. If you stop Breece Hall, you stack the box, you limit Justin Fields, make sure he doesn't kill you. I think it's relatively simple. You just stop the run, and you're going to have the Jets in 2nd and 8, and then it'll be 3rd and 5 all day long, and you're going to be making the New York Jets have to be a 50% team on 3rd down. Otherwise, they got no shot. I don't really see a way that the Jets defense dominates in this one. So I've got the New York Jets falling at home to the Carolina Panthers by a score of 27-23. Look, Justin has all of the tools big arm, the body, the athleticism, all the traits, holding on to the ball that long, the offensive line that struggled around him. Balls has to come out quicker, and that's really been something that he hasn't been able to do. Even you go back to Ohio State a little bit. So I've got Carolina 27-23 winning this game. They keep giving it to Rico Dowdle. He made his former team, the Cowboys, pay, trying to show that he's one of the best running backs in the NFL. I believe they get it done against the Jets in this one. So let me know down below in the comments whether you think the Jets get the win. Am I wrong? Or does Carolina pull it off on the road? I appreciate you pull it off at home, excuse me. So I appreciate you so much for watching. I make NFL videos every single day, college as well. Make sure to subscribe for more content in the future if you have not already. All right, Kang. So I said at home when it's actually on the road. So we're going to redo that ending. So go back. Whether or not the Carolina Panthers get the win on the road at the New York Jets. I appreciate you so much for watching. I make Blitz with Blender content every day. It's so much fun to break down these games, these matchups, even if the Jets have struggled. They do have some positives to talk about with the weapons that they have, like Garrett, if he does play, or Justin's athletic ability. Just don't see it in this one. So please subscribe for more content in the future if you have not already, and I will see you next time. Thank you for watching.